Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. ChronicKloudz here with episode 5 of our beginner series, and we're going to be going over the French destroyers and what makes them different than the other nations here in Legends. We'll be overviewing the tiers 2 through 7 and the stats and the commanders that the commander that I'm going to be using. To base the stats off for this video is a level 11 legendary 2 Philip Abuano with Eric Bay and Blue Fioria as inspirations. Alright, starting off with the health. The French destroyers sit up in the top of the pack compared to the other nations of the destroyer class, starting off with having 9,300 health points to 15,400 health points. So not bad. As for the guns, the French destroyers have the largest caliber guns pretty much the whole way through, and actually have a decent reload time as well, starting off having 4 100mm main battery guns that have a distance of 8.4 kilometers and a reload of 6.6 seconds, to having 5 139mm main battery guns that have a distance of 10.2 kilometers and a reload of 6 seconds. Also, something to note, tiers 5 through 7 have a main battery reload booster, and that helps for taking out pesky destroyers up close. Now for the torpedoes. The French destroyers have, I'd say, middle to upper middle of the pack torpedoes that really shine once you get to top tier, around 7. Starting off having 2 launchers of 3 550mm torps with a travel distance of 8.1 kilometers and a speed of 56 knots, 7,433 max damage, and a reload of 52 seconds, to having 3 launchers of 3 550mm torpedoes, each with a travel distance of 8.9 kilometers and a speed of 80 knots, with 18,400 max damage and a reload of 73.1 seconds. Now let's talk about where this nation really shines. Its maneuverability. The French DDs are some of the quickest destroyers in the game, starting off having a speed of 34.9 knots with a 2.9 second rudder shift, to having a speed of 46.9 knots with a 4.8 second rudder shift. These ships can be blazing fast with the speed boosters, as the tier 7 can almost reach speeds of close to 60 knots. And last but not least, especially for destroyers, the Concealment. And this is where this ship has its flaws. They're rather large vessels and they're almost cruiser-esque, and also not having the ability to equip smoke screens makes them easily spotted targets. They start off with having a detectability range of 4.8 kilometers to having a detectability range of 5.7 kilometers. So I'd say you want to play more defensively and very carefully in these ships and not just rush in, but they do play the caps very, very well, especially if you have teammate support. French destroyers are awesome ships and very fun to play, but also require a little bit more thought process and map awareness since you are easily detected. But I play them as a defensive capping ship with my quick speeds and very good guns, and I use my somewhat quick reloading torps that are moderately ranged but very fast to target once ships decide to get into close range. Realize when it's time to run away and take advantage if your destroyers that wander too close with your main battery reload booster and just rip them to shreds. But anyways guys, that will do it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope the info was helpful, and if it was, please do subscribe as it helps me out like a massive ton. In the next video we'll be looking at the German destroyers finally. Sorry I had to skip them, and yeah guys, I hope to see y'all there.